What it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome back to the show. And for everybody who's first time tuning in, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, please share this with anybody who you think might like this type of content. What we call, I guess, hood journalism, content creators of urban, real literature, street shit. That's what we bring to the table. That's what I'm bringing to the table. A little wisdom for those who need to hear it. Just sharing my experiences. So for everybody who's first time on this channel, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. All right, so anyway, y'all, as I said before, I'm going through some stuff with YouTube. So I haven't really been dropping content like I was before. I'm going to continue to do that. Got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. So far, I didn't manage to get in contact with some real important people, some people that's going to help me take my channel to the next level. Some people that reached out to me. I don't want to put their names out there yet, but some important people that reached out to me. They like what I'm doing, so they want to help me get to the next levels. So I got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline once I get all this stuff situated with YouTube and Google AdSense. So once that's cleared up, I'm gonna be coming with more stuff. As you see, I've got more gear. The Wrong Enemy brand is continue to get more exposure, continue to take off. I appreciate all y'all for commenting, the good comments, y'all there, even y'all with the bad comments, because without the bad comments, I'm not doing nothing. So I need those to keep me motivated. So continue with that corny shit as well. Appreciate you. Salute you, hater. But yep. So I'm doing some things, man, but I want to give y'all a little something because I know I ain't putting nothing out there, and I know people is just now tuning in. I got to try to keep my numbers up, you know what I mean? So I got to drop something regardless. So I'm going to talk about some prison shit. I have a lot of prison stories I really haven't brought to the table yet. I'm eventually get there. Unfortunately for y'all, I don't have a lot of prison riot stories as far as being involved in riots with the Southern Mexicans. Only just little wayside stuff, and like when I first came to prison for the first time, little tussles, like little small melees in the gym in Jamestown. Because back then, Jamestown had, like, when you first drive up, everybody goes to the gym. So, you know, you got all these races in there, but everybody was still new to the system. There's a lot of stuff going on then, and we got into little melees and little shit like that, but it wasn't nothing big. It was like, okay, it was one of them kind of situations where everybody didn't get involved type shit. So I don't have a lot of like the really bad prison stories like a lot of people got. Good thing though, I wasn't involved in none of that shit. I just happened to be in places at the time where it just never really hit the fan with the blacks and the Mexicans. To that point, it hit the fan to the point to like this. When there be race wars in prison and it's blacks and Mexicans going on, or blacks and whites, whatever, they have us isolated. So people be isolated and you just be locked down the whole year. And shit would come out and go down. Like a whole year can go by and you actually don't even have contact with another race. It just be you and your celly or you and your race. Because they'll do stuff like this. They'll let like, okay, let's say, here's a scenario. The blacks and the Southern Mexicans are at war. Something happened months before I get here, right? Now, I come on, we're already on lockdown. So during lockdown, I'm only around my celly. I'm only, when they let us do a modified program, I'm only around other blacks. So that's it. This can go on for a whole year, if not longer. Then what they do is, if they trying to release people back to the population, they'll start by doing stuff like, they'll start testing the waters by doing like, okay, we're going to let these 2 cells out at a time. And they let these 2 cells out to see what they do. They crack these 2 cells in this housing unit, right? And this is how they gonna do it. We on lockdown because we've been at a war for a while. So they want to test the waters and see if we still tripping. So what they gonna do is they're gonna pop this black cell over here and they're gonna open this Mexican cell over here. A lot of times they're gonna make it look like it's an accident, but it's not. They just play the accident. Oh, we actually opened the wrong cell, but really they just doing it to test the waters. Then now if they come out and on site they get cracking, that let them know it's still going down. So now that's going to extend the lockdown for another month or weeks or whatever, if not longer, and it's going to keep going on like that. That'll go on sometime for like a whole year or so. I kid you not, I didn't see that shit go on forever. And we be locked down like the whole year. So a lot of times when y'all hear about people in prison, these prisons are on lockdown, it's because of shit like that. But then there's times when they gonna let out, okay, we're gonna let out this whole section, A section. Everybody in A section gonna go to the yard. They don't let them out, and they're gonna let you out like one race at a time. That way they gonna pat everybody down, have you come out with your drawers and shit, and your shoes and all that shit, strip out, then go to the yard. They make sure nobody got no weapons on it. They let you be on the yard. So when shit like that happen, you'll see people like over here, like blacks over here, Mexicans over here, whites over here, others over here. And everybody just might be hanging out just to get some sun for a little while if the sun it ain't been outside in a while. And then by the time it's time to go in, that's usually when the shit hit the fan. We start walking and get in line, and that's when we just get off. I mean, that's how I normally go. But if we don't get off, that's letting them know, like, okay, maybe they're not tripping. So now what they're going to do is do it again for another section. And they don't keep doing it so they can do multiple sections to open the yard back up. That's how they get back. That's how they resume things to get back to regular program in these level 4 prisons and level 3 prisons as well. Now, I done been in places where we didn't did that for like whole fucking years. Especially Pelican Bay. I done did it in Pelican Bay with the at war with the Southern Mexicans. I done did that the same at the war with the skinheads, the whites in Pelican Bay. So 2 different times I've been in Pelican Bay, and both times I've been up there, we've been on lockdown for race wars. Pelican Bay is a place everybody knows it goes down. However, as far as prisons, for me, the most structured prisons I ever been to, as far as structures with the blacks in particular, the Crips on the yard, it's been Calipatra, Sea Yard, and I would give it to Pelican Bay. Everywhere else been different. And now think about prison riots. Prison riots comes from, it depends on who's on the yard. If you got the right heads on the yard, the right heads can be, diplomatic about things. They know how to go and discuss things with other races. They know how to resolve things to where you don't get everybody involved. Some people do stuff selfishly. Their decision making is selfish. To where the point is, they'll make a decision just based on thinking only of themselves. And I realize you had these prison riots, these wars, people don't get hurt. You know what I mean? So that's blood on your hands. So that shit come back on people too. You get to making the wrong decisions in these prisons and making the wrong decisions in the LA County Jail. That shit come back on you later on. You might not know it, but you be on one of these yards later on and somebody gonna bring some shit up. Then niggas gonna start politicking on you behind some shit you did in the county, behind you did some shit in another prison. So you got to make the right decisions in there. And this for me is where I learned politics at its finest, by being in prisons like this, these higher level prisons. And see, a lot of people that I come up with didn't make it to high level prison. A lot of niggas just made it to like the low levels prison. Everybody that I come up with haven't been to the Pelican Bays and the Calipats at a time like that. Most niggas went to a lot of level 3 spots. I went to those higher levels at a younger age, and I paid attention. I studied it. I learned it. I watch, I follow, you know what I mean? I'm not the nigga who come through and like buck the program. Understand there's a structure. I'm not big in the program. You come in this motherfucker, you fall in line, you learn this shit, because you might be called on to have to run this shit at some point in time. That's why you pay attention. But see, that's the same with life, yo. You do that shit with gang shit, but you got to learn how to pay attention to life. All these different experiences and shit that we go through, the shit that I done been going through, that I be sharing with y'all, all the shit that you go through that you haven't shared with nobody, but you know what you done been through. You gotta learn from that shit, y'all. You gotta learn. You gotta think like, fucking, how many more chances we gonna get, right? You get going through all these chances. All these chances is like really to wake your ass up, to make you realize that it's a different way to go about doing things, that you only gonna get so many chances in life before it's checkmate. So the object of the game is to win, right? The game of life. The object is to win. It's not to be checkmated. It's not to fail. But so many of us fail because we choose to fail. Let me say that again. Because we choose to fail. Our decisions, our actions is what make us choose to fail. It's what we do reflects us choosing to win. To be winners, it's a choice to be a winner in prison and on the streets. Prison, is a smaller scale. You learn how to do things in a smaller world. But now we out here in a real world. It's a bigger challenge for us, but we can succeed and win in here as well. The same way we was diplomatic with other races and other cliques and shit like that in prison, we can be the same way out here. We're supposed to. We're not supposed to be up in this motherfucking world and come out here and be on some bullshit again. You're supposed to learn. That's the University of Pelican Bay, the University of Calipatra. Feel me? We're supposed to learn from this shit. So you learn your diplomatic skills by dealing with prison politics, and you come out and you apply that shit in a positive way in the community, because you understand the structure, the community of self for your people, your environment. It reflects on all of us. All of us. Period, motherfucker. It should reflect on all of us. But anyway, I got a lot of good shit coming down. Stay tuned. Continue to follow. Continue to share. I'm about to take a vacation with the family right now, so I'll be back at y'all in a little bit. Hey, man, whatever y'all doing, stay blessed. Stay focused. Hey, hater, you continue hating, and each day is a new play. Run that shit back.